And mahalo for supporting Kauai Community Radio. Stay tuned for Naleo Hawaiian Issues.
Hey, oh, Hawaiian, kamae kona muku kamae awayo ke kamae kahulinu kamae kahulio hulia papio ailalo ekealo hulia ikainu okumuki ilolai o kahana ana ia hiki o hula ka ia kaali o kapakuku me ka upena aku au ani o ka unu o niu o lani o la o kiavi aiku aiala aia eu aia e kamae kona muku e kamae awai o ke kama e ka hulinu kama e ka hulio hulihia papio ailalo ikielo hulihia ikeinu o kumaki iloloi o kahana ana ia hiki o hula ka ia kaali o kapakuku me ka upena aku au I hani ani o ka unu o niu o lani o la o kia vi aiku aiala ahia na iala pepe ka honu o ka moku I haala ia e ka kiu velo ke apu uko velo lohi a kanalo no kama.
He aloha no I ka poli o ke kuaiwi
Makalani makonua ala eawe I kalenda e pili ani au I ko aloha
Wana kamakani hele ululu me ole kapina me ka ihona me kamakani hele ululu me ole kapina me ka ihona me na kike e ala nubi okpa kona ni akamahina ahuvale no ikapai o fua e ia kaua I kapina pau ahuli hoki mai kaua okpa kona ni akamahina ahuvale no ikapai o fua e ia kaua I kapina pau ahuli hoki mai kaua haina kobe hie kuule ke huli ho'i ne kaua step on the gas pal going my way ke oni ne kauila haina kobe hie kuule ke huli ho'i ne kaua step on the gas pal going my way ke oni ne kauila
I think of all the things you've done for me. To open up my wings and set me free. I know I let you down and hurt you deep. But if you turn around, you just might see that I love you. Yes, I love you. Oh, I love you. The stubbornness of pride replaced our joy. It is, I must confide, a poor decoy. We've searched for something new with half a heart. I'm reaching out to you, a brand new start, 'cause I love you. Yes, I love you. Oh, I love you. But if you turn around, you just might see that I love you. Yes, I love
wana kole ale apaha hame amawia for you and
And you're listening to Nale Hawaiian Issues. Now kind of running the board over here. And just got back from the mainland and had to play some Hawaiian music, get back in the mood. But you notice, except for that, the last song by Makana, that was Hawaiian language. It's not English. And Hawaiian language is not indigenous to the United States. That is a fact, and that's why it's so disappointing that when I got back, I found out that the DOI, which we knew they were going to do, okay, we knew they were going to do that. And right here at KKCR, Honolulu, KQ, Kilauea, we're going to talk about it here in Naleo Issues because it affects everything. We have a lot of issues going on the islands, you know, our access, our alaloa, a lot of issues. Bones being dug up, like dog bones of our kupuna. And the Department of Interior, the United States government, under the Obama administration, has just spat in the face of Hawaiians once again. They made the decision they're going to come up with this plan. And sorry, but I'm having a problem pulling this thing up, but it's very disappointing because growing up on the mainland, and I was raised American, you know, it's not we hate Americans, Hawaiians, but we just, the majority of us just don't feel like you should be our conquerors and our occupiers. With this latest DOI thing, they have finalized the plan, saying they got all the support. And what's even more really sad about it is that you have Senator Schatz, also Tulsi Gabbard, which I'm very disappointed in, and all the rest of the people who support their lies. And I'm going to have this thing, Kaylee Akina, and I'm going to try to grab up what I was looking at, but the statements by Schatz, statements by Tulsi Gabbard regarding, oh, what a wonderful thing that the DOI has finalized the plans. The Hawaiians can have be a tribe like the Native American Indians on the mainland. And the two, though we support our brothers on the mainland in the Dakotas fighting against the pipeline, and all the brothers and sisters on the continental U.S., the natives, we were a country in and of itself. And I, like many others, are not going to allow any country, including the United States, to wipe Hawaii off the face of the earth. Our people fought for our independence. Our people fought to unite our country. And I just feel strongly, and this is what America taught me, is you stand up for what is right. It just so happens that standing up for right for Hawaiians is standing up against the United States. But we do it non-violently. We're not bombing buses, so we're not getting shown on the news every single day. And we're not going to do that kind of stuff just to get noticed. You cannot get people's support by killing people. So that's why these other terrorists around the world trying to kill people for a cause. Shut up. You guys are just terrorists. You just want to kill people, because you certainly can't get the help of the people that you kill or those of their families, because I would hate you too. Hawaiians, we use nonviolent, and it is mana'o. Share the knowledge. Not share the bombs or scatter the bullets or kidnap people. Share the knowledge. Now, granted, I mean, you look at what's happening with Trump. He can lie straight in your face and people are like, I'm still going to vote for him. To me, that's kind of crazy. I haven't seen this kind of stuff before. A lot of people haven't. But we still have those diehards that are going to stand by him no matter what he says or what he does. That's kind of scary. I mean, to me, an intelligent human being, you have to look at the facts and make a decision, even if you have to change your position because the facts dictate so. You may hold this true, but then facts come about, hey, that was wrong, you need to change your opinion. Not just stick by it. No, I'm not going to change my opinion. I have to stand where I am, even though all the facts prove I'm wrong. And it's crazy what's happening there. But it was even more crazy that in this era of social media, that things get around so fast. Everyone in the world, you ask them about Hawaii, everyone in the world knows about Hawaii, but they don't know jack about the Hawaiian people. And the Hawaiian people aren't the people who come here to come to live. It's not the people who come over here and they get born. It is a race of people. And that whole idea of our country, of our people, of our race is being wiped out. Not by Al-Qaeda, not by ISIS, but by the United States, by their actions of the Department of Interior under the Obama administration. And I'm going to find the clip. It actually talks, the Obama White House sportsman even talks about the Hawaiian people as a tribe. Which means what? He doesn't know anything about the Hawaiian people or our history. I even had this one tourist jokingly, but I told him after. When we were saying something, we always, when we talk to the tourists and we're doing our music, our Hawaiian music, Hawaiian hula, we let them know that in 1895, the Hawaiian language, after we were taken over by the United States and their cronies, in 1895, in Hawaii, the Hawaiian language was banned. Now, how's that? In our own country, we were punished for speaking our own language. And the comment that he did, he said something about this one word, and I corrected him. He goes, well, you guys don't use your language anyway. And I let him know. Yeah, because it was beaten out of generations of us. Physically beaten. We need to just give it up, dude. Which, again, your ignorance of the facts make your statements even more stupid. It was beaten out of my mother. It was beaten out of her cousins. Again, you don't know nothing about our people or our history. And for the Department of Interior of the United States, which at one time I held in high regard, and now seeing them, well, actually my whole respect of the United States, and I'm talking about the United States in general, the government policies, because we have met and do have friends who are Americans. I'm American. I was born in California. And the truth, they know, and they support the Hawaiian people. It's not that we hate America. But do not stand there and tell us about human rights. Do not tell us you're sending men and women, including Hawaiian men and women, to Afghanistan to fight for peace, and then you deny us. Because what you're doing now, again, lying to the Hawaiian people and lying to the whole world, by continuing on insisting and implementing the Department of Interior plan against the voice of the Hawaiian people. And you don't have to take my word. YouTube. We went to all the islands. And if you do not hear the majority of the people, then you're watching a Mickey Mouse cartoon or something. And as always, we always take phone calls. So I'll put them right on the air. Hello, caller. You're on the air with Nalea Hawaiian Issues. There you are. You coming on? Oh, bad reception over there.
Hello, aloha. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're barely coming in, but speak loud.
Oh, could I ask who is this DJ programmer?
This is Naukana. We're on Nalea Hawaiian Issues. Yes. Okay, aloha. Aloha.
I just wanted to share my mana'o.
Sure.
At this moment.
Yes.
And I've been listening to you on the radio. And I'm always appreciative of KKCR and its programs.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to touch into the essence of the Hawaiian people.
Sure.
Has always been the aloha.
Yep.
And if we hold that vibration, the aloha, and that is what our queen, Lili'u Okalani, asked, is that we have that aloha. And yes, we have to ku, and we have to imua, and we have to have, we have to have our vision. But we must always hold on to the aloha, because that's what defines the Hawaiian kingdom from the other kingdoms of Polynesia and the other tribal nations of the world. I'm not sure if you can hear me anymore, but
no,
I
can.
So I'm going to have to hang up now. This is Puala'a, and I want to mahalo ya'oi and say aloha.
Aloha.
Okay, awiho.
Awiho. No, I agree. We have to hold on aloha, but that doesn't mean that we don't speak up. It doesn't mean that we disagree, especially when they're telling us after we made the comments of the majority of the Hawaiian people that we reject. Everybody knows that. So we can have aloha, but we have to call liars liars. That's being aloha. That's being truthful. When Tulsi Gabbard and Schatz stand up and they say, oh, this is such a good thing, bro, what were you listening to? Certainly weren't listening to the Hawaiian people, so how can those two represent one state and represent who I used to have respect for, but for them to come out and stand out and lie, basically lie, because obviously they didn't go to any of the meetings. I didn't see them there. I don't see them on the tapes. So they didn't hear what the Hawaiian people said. I believe in aloha, but I also believe in kaika. You got to be strong. And we are being overthrown again. And yes, I have the aloha, but I ain't going to take it a second time. And I'm so thankful for those Hawaiians who are not going to sit around and take it for another time. We're organizing. I did join one on when I came back, when I saw the DOI, Aha Aloha Aina. And I'm going to try to get with them this is critical. You can talk about aloha, but when we're talking about aloha, they're making laws that diminish our rights as a people. And we were our own country. And this is a country that tells us, oh, freedom, human rights, all that stuff. But you deny us. So we can have aloha. But we also have to onipa'a and defend our homeland and defend our people. Our people have already spoken by way of the Ku'e petition. We don't need another vote on it. For those pseudo-Hawaiians who want to call themselves Hawaiians but favor a foreign government to continue to occupy our country, hey, go ahead, brother. But our people have already spoken. And those of us who continue on for our independence and sovereignty are only following what our kapunas and ancestors told us what to do by way of the Ku'e petition. So these other Hawaiians may have been brainwashed and to accept a foreign country to occupy and take over our country. That's fine for them, but that does not erase our voice of our people from the Ku'e petition and erase our rights and their rights to continue their country. Just because those Hawaiians have no respect for their country anymore and will not stand up and will not fight for it, that's their kuleana. But that does not wipe out our voices of our people from the Ku'e petition. It does not erase the voices of the DOI meetings 2 years ago. So sure, we can have aloha, but that don't mean that we just stand out and get slapped in the face left and right. We got to say a'ole pono to the United States and Department of Interior. And as one brother, I think it was Kale, one time told us, you know what, when you get down to it, we don't care what the United States, what kind of rules they have. Because obviously, this rulemaking by the DOI is a total slap in the face, and I'm not the only one who said that. I'll read some more from Hawaii Press. It is a spat in the face of the Hawaiian people. They lied to us about including our testimonies, and they just plowed through, and they're going to run this through. Why? Because they want to control us and control our lands. And why? Because they have nothing on the books that ever said Hawaiians signed off and said, United States, you can do this to us. We give up all our rights. That's why they have to send the Department of Interior here. They don't want to send the Department of State like was requested many times. And their excuse at the DOI, that's not our kuleana, that's not our expertise. Well, we're telling you, we don't want you here. We want the state. That was the majority people there. And I'm not just talking about, guys, I'm the spectrum of Hawaiians. From lawyers to fishermen to everybody. There wasn't just one group of Hawaiians saying this. There was a broad spectrum within all the DOI meetings. Yet, last week, the DOI disregarded all the Hawaiian people, their testimony, only went with the emails that were sent in, and the first indication with this was in the Reagan administration when they came down in the 80s. And I was still in this America will do right mentality, my naive state. Went to all the meetings again, lasted hours. I was so stuck in my mentality that America is just and will do what is right that I was waiting. Kinao Kamali'i back then was head of the commission that went in there to federal government in Washington, D.C. during the early 80s. And when they came back, the book was about like 3 inches thick. Commission on Hawaiian Rights, Sovereignty. And I was living in Kaneohe. I was just about like 21, and I just read the first couple pages. And I remember opening up my back door and throwing the book into the river. And I have never, since the early 80s, stood up for the United States of America Star-Spangled Banner. It is a disgrace of what they have done to the Hawaiian people. And now the DOI proceeding with their plan against the will of the Hawaiian people, even more so. And yeah, all those pseudo-Hawaiians who support this call, like Lindsay from OHA, I agree. He should be taken out. He should be voted out. We'll have another caller online. I'm just saying what I feel. And you can say what you feel right here, like right now. Hello, caller on the air with Nalea Hawaiian Issues.
Hey, this is Anthony on the west side.
How's it?
I like what you're saying, 100% behind you. I didn't know that the DOI had thrown out all of our verbal abuse that we gave them because I guess they think that we abusive people. Wait till somebody shoots them, then they're going to really pay attention to that. Anyway, this is what I would like to say. I go along with whatever you say, brother. No problem with that. Sometimes I sit here when you're talking and I cry a little bit. But we need to do one thing, and you know me and my voting, right? I want to encourage everybody to go out and vote. Because right now, what do we have? We have Derek Kawakami, Ross Kagawa, and Ariel Kaneshiro. We have the KKK, the new KKK for Kauai, the KKK that goes right back to the old KKK where they took out and hung black men just because they give side-eye to a white woman. This is what's going to be happening to us over the next 20 years. They're going to take and rape every piece of land they can. And they're starting with Maha'ulepu. You folks need to pay attention. That dairy farm is just a ruse, a farce. All they're doing is seeing when they shake that tree, who's falling out. We have a lot of people that are backing it up. And we have even more people here in the South Shore trying to get it there. But they don't want the dairy farm. The dairy farm gives you as much filth as 2 hotels. And what they want to do is find out how big of a waste management system they're going to have to put in to make us satisfied. Then after that, they're going to go ahead and just build. 20 years, we're going to have a boom 20 years where we're going to build a lot of residential homes. And if we vote the KKK in, we will be going down that road because they also want you to vote for Ata Bruin, Mal Raposo, and Kipo Kaikoli'i. And they will become now the 666. Everybody needs to pay attention. Oh, all of a sudden these things are happening to us. Bullshit. It's been well planned. 20 years ago when they gave up having any more hotels after the Hyatt, they just went into hiding. And now they're coming out. And if we let Derek Kawakami, Ross Kagawa, and Ariel Kaneshiro, we will be heading down in that direction where they will just do nothing but Californicate the entire island of Kauai. 20 years, boom. everybody will be building houses, and everybody was looking at us, and all the things that tourists come to see because I drive taxi. And I asked the tourists, what do they like? They like what they see. It's not going to be taken into consideration because KKK, their overlords, want to see the entire island of Kauai developed. Oahu has been developed. Maui has been developed. Kauai, we next. Bend over. They're going to get the gold, and we're going to get the shack.
Well, you know, I agree with most of your stuff. I mean, but from when I worked with Derek Kawakami, I like what he did. Now, I don't know everything that he did. So obviously you don't like him for some reason. When
we were out on Mauna Kea, he did absolutely nothing for us. We cannot say that he's going to do anything for us because he is part of the problem. The company he worked for is Big Slave. What is the people who work there call it? Big Slave. He and his family made money, got rich on the backs of his workers. Other people who did that, and if you folks cannot remember, one of them is Rockefeller, the other one is Carnegie. People behave. You folks have to pay attention. It's coming around again. I don't care what anybody says about Derek Kawakami. He's not for Hawaii. He has never done anything for us Hawaiians. Sorry about that.
No, and I agree with you, but I think part of it, too, is that, and that's why when you go into this system, as far as, unless you do put down that you're only for Hawaiians, and you're probably not going to get voted in unless all Hawaiians vote, they have to be concerned with all peoples. And I agree with you. Right now, unless you're Palestinian, all peoples have their own home country. I mean, even Derek Kawakami's family, when you go back to it, they still get Japan. You know what I mean? Filipinos still get Philippines. Even the Portuguese get Portugal. Okay? So all these different Chinese, when they go back to their traces and they go back, they have their homeland, they have their country. Now, unless you're Palestinian, us and Hawaiians
understand what we're doing.
Yeah, and then they deny us. And what really gets me, too, is these United States, and I know I said it, but Schatz and Tulsi Gabbard, to come out and say they supported the DOI, obviously they didn't hear the testimony, and obviously they're going against the will of the people. So how can they stand there? And if it comes to their attention, then maybe they should change their position. But the way they stand, they're lying.
We all have to get down and write our letter. Send them emails. And all you have to do is put in their name, and they have an email that you can send them an email. That's the only way we can do it.
Well, you know what?
By calling them on it.
But you know what's more important than that you and I believe in, besides the email? You got to vote, dudes.
You got
to vote. I mean, look at...
That's what I meant to say.
No, and I agree with you.
What we got to do. All of us Hawaiians, we got to do. If we vote, we are block vote.
I know, and
we have people to block.
And sometimes when
to Kauai, we got to realize there's a lot of sites in Koloa that are going to be paved over. All these sites that we have, everything is being earmarked. In the next 20 years, we're going to lose it all. What's his name? A teacher at KCC who passed away. He's been all his papers. Where's his papers? He was down here for 20 years checking everything. And now it's all overgrown, and we don't know where anything's at. Pila, Kikuchi. And nobody knows anything what to do about it.
No,
and
Kikuchi...
Well, we don't know. We never checked. But he did.
No, and Kikuchi, I got to admit, was a good man. He even came up to Waipake and helped my family. He was a good man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He came out. He was concerned. And he was the one that... now, his papers... Where's his papers that show Poipu is... a Hawaiian residential village. Where are those papers so that they don't go? Canusians will not go ahead and just pave over everything. Take all the stones and make them into stone walls for their houses. And we can look at our stone walls over there. These things should be preserved. It starts here on Kauai. We need to get together and vote. Everybody, I'm telling you, you got to look at the voters voting. County council is going to get shoved down on it. And 2 years from now, if Derek gets in the council, he will be running for mayor. And our mayor will be running for a House of Representatives. These things were set up a year ago. I know this because that's what I know. I was there when they made those decisions.
Yeah, I thought Derek coming back for the council was a stepping stone to go after the mayorship after.
And look,
what happened to that wall that Zuckerberg built? I know, you know, he only can build a 3-foot wall without permit.
No,
Anything
6.
over 3
No,
feet
it is.
1 inch, you need a down permit.
No, correction. It is 6.
It's 6 feet.
6 feet.
No, it's not.
It's just that nobody built a 6-foot wall for as long as he did.
No, there was. When I went to check, it was 3 feet. My wall, I couldn't build a wall because they said 3 feet.
Oh,
I
because
wanted to build a wall 3 feet, 4 feet, so that I could put it up and backfill my property.
Well,
and have back a property.
Well, you know why? You can only build 3 feet because you're Hawaiian and you're not rich. That's why you get more regulation if you less money and you Hawaiian. You get less regulation. I mean, more regulation.
Yeah.
That's why.
When I went down to ask him, hey, I would build one wall 4 feet. No, you can only build one 3 feet without permit. After that, you need permit. I said, oh, okay.
Yeah, I called them. They said 6 feet allowable.
They lying to their teeth. I'm telling you right now, just like you said, they bend the rules. They won't change them just because he said so. These are the things that are coming to fruition. Everything that we have, we're going to be pushed out. It's just like Aspen. There are no more people who originally was there before the skiers came, snow skiers came, and now only have rich people there. If you want to work in Aspen, you got to live outside of Aspen too, and work in. Where are we going to go to? This is all we have. What you going to do? Push us into the ocean? Make a bunch of barges? Make us live on barges?
Well, like they already wiped out mostly all Hawaiians' lands in Moloa, including my family. I think Uncle Charlie's the only one left. He's hanging on. But most of the Hawaiians' families were either forced to sell or they took the lands from taxes. I know because we're one of the families.
Yeah.
And now
I tell that. You talk to your tourists. I talk to mine. I explain to them who we are. I start with a mopa. I go, ahapua. I explain how families is one in the south, numbers in the thousands. And then you had 4 or 5 families living in there, and one family is chief, and they get out of hand, we kill them all. We can't do that now.
And we didn't do that then either, but maybe some.
You're laughing. I hope you.
No, because I mean, a lot of people were saying like, "Oh, you couldn't, it was so restrictive, you couldn't move up in the society." Blah blah. It's like, I know. It's like, well, again, your ignorance. Kamehameha was not top ali'i. He was not Ni'aupio. He had it. Kamehameha had to crawl to his first wife because she was Ni'aupio. She was Haya. By his prowess in battle, he rose himself up.
Yes. And you can start with a piece of wood and make a canoe. You can become a huna. And what's wrong with that? You can go out and be a fisherman, and you can become a huna.
Yep.
No, tell me no.
Hey, Anthony, we got 5 minutes. I'm going to leave you online, but we got another caller. Going to put him right on with us, okay?
I'm going to hang up.
Okay.
I got to listen to you. I actually working. I'm not supposed to be talking to you.
Okay, yeah, no getting in trouble.
Okay, aloha.
Aloha. Hello, caller, you're on air.
Oh, hi. This is Mary Wheatley, Inspired Parent Coach.
Hi.
I wanted to how are you?
Hi.
I wanted to remind your listeners that I have 2 tickets available to this evening's screening of Screenagers at KCC. And I know Tracy was offering them to the audience. I have an adult ticket and a student ticket. And I don't know how best to... They can call me directly if they'd like to take claim to them.
Sure, you're on air right now. You can give out the number.
Oh, sure. My number is 635-7995. 635-7995. And I have 2 tickets to Screenagers movie tonight at KCC Performing Arts. Doors open at 6:30. And if they want to call me directly, I will have the tickets waiting for them at will call.
All righty.
Okay. Thank you so much for taking my call.
No problem. Aloha no.
Mm-hmm. Aloha.
We take all calls. Right in the middle of the heated discussion, too. That's okay. Again, we're going to top off. I'm going to show, let's see. This is a 6 minutes thing over here. So we're right before the top of the hour. So I'm going to go through the top of the hour stuff, and then we're going to play some and read you some excerpts because this is really the DOI law would control everything. And then you have these cronies like the Danner sisters, and I can tell the Danner sisters because they're listed here, and they were interviewed. Robin Danner was interviewed by the Star Advertiser, and she's like, "Whoa, wonderful! I smiled, whatever." She's so happy about the DOI. Again, she supports the continued occupation of the United States of Hawaii. I disagree with that. I would think that, like Americans would disagree with an American supporting the takeover of America by Russia or China. That's basically treason. So these Hawaiians like Robin Danner who support the continued occupation and the DOI, even though the majority of the Hawaiian people voted against it, in my eyes, in my opinion, they lost their way, and they shouldn't call themselves Hawaiians. Because just like Americans, if you're a true American, you will fight and defend America. If you're a true Hawaiian, you will fight and defend your country of Hawaii and respect our voices of our kupuna in the Ku'e petition. Bottom line, Robert Danner and people like her are continuing to side with the liars. They didn't listen to our people over 100 years ago through the Ku'e petition. They're not listening to our people now. They just spat on our face again. And Robin Danner and those type of Hawaiians are jumping for joy. I think the dollar bill has made her lose her way like many of the Hawaiians who support this. If you're just worried about a dollar bill, then hey, stay where you are. But us Hawaiians who respect our kupunas and our ancestors who signed the Ku'e petition, who have honor for our country that they stood for, will not let their voices die. Will not let any government wipe our remembrance and our live and livable country of Hawaii from the face of the earth. We can't. And we'll do it without bullets. We'll do it without dropping bombs from drones. How we're going to do it is with mana'o. And the more people know, as I can see it, I've seen it over the years, who know, like people of Robert Danner, what they're doing, which is a'ole pono. And if you disagree, even Robert Danner, you have an opportunity right now. Give me a call, 826-7774, 826-7771, right now. And you can explain why a Hawaiian will support a foreign government of continue occupying our country, which has led to the diminishing of whole land holdings by Hawaiian families under this system. To me, it's just like the French resistance. When the Nazis went into Europe and those countries resisted the occupation of a foreign government, if Robin Danner was a French person, oh, yeah, let's just work with them. Let's work with the Nazis. And you know what happened to collaborators? They called them collaborators. After the war, they publicly sent all the collaborators, didn't kill them, but all the French people who worked with the Nazis to save their skin, to put money in their pockets against their own people. These are French people who supported the Nazis. After the war, they were held publicly, and they were all shaved their heads. They didn't kill them, but basically, how dare that French citizen, that French person, turn against her own people and their own people in favor of a foreign government? That's treason. That's a traitor. And mahalo for supporting Kauai Community Radio. This is Naukana and Naleo Hawaiian Issues, where we talk about the issues that affect the islands, especially the Hawaiian people, and the DOI is the number one topic. I know we have the alalo, we have other things going on, but the DOI, the Department of Interior, has given the go-ahead for these fake Hawaiians to make a fake tribal entity, a fake government. They'll be under the thumb of the Department of Interior. Yet they call it self-governance and self-sovereignty. Yeah, whatever. Read the definition of that and then read the document of the rule. No matter what kind of government we would come up under their system, we would still be subject to their system. That is not self-determination. That is not sovereignty. The Chinese government does not ask the America to what they can do inside China. The Japanese government doesn't ask the United States what they can do inside Japan. Hawaiians have the right to have our country. Bottom line.
Thanks a lot, Billy. We have Kali'i Akina of the Grassroots Institute of Hawaii here to talk a little bit more about today's announcement. We want to kind of get all different perspectives on this. And Kali'i, let's just start off with what you thought about in hearing this announcement from the Department of the Interior this morning.
Well, Grace, good morning to you. The announcement is not as significant as people would think. It simply says that the Department of Interior will allow Native Hawaiians to organize a government that is federally recognized. But the real important thing is whether Native Hawaiians want to do that. And
can we go back just a little bit? Because you say this is not significant, whereas we've been hearing from former Governor John Waihee, who called this a major victory and a civil rights victory at that. And you're saying this is not significant?
Well, the missing piece is whether Native Hawaiians want to have a federally recognized government. And the evidence is overwhelming that we don't. First of all, every single survey taken of Native Hawaiians since OHA began in 1978 shows they don't want OHA to be spending money on this pursuit. Instead, they want the state government to be spending money on jobs, education, and housing. That's the pathway for advancement of Hawaiians. The other thing is that the majority of Native Hawaiians don't want to be in a separate race-based country. So what's going on here violates the will of Hawaiians. But more than that, it's a failed pathway. Every effort, the wasting of over $33 million just on the Akaka bill alone, the failure of Na'iaupuni show that Native Hawaiians won't participate in this.
But there were so many people who did sign up for Na'iaupuni. I believe 100,000 people signed up to be a part of that.
Well, let's look at those numbers. That was said on the air here today, but that's not the truth. There are over 550,000 Native Hawaiians across the country. The facts are less than 5% signed up. What the Office of Hawaiian Affairs did in Na'iaupuni was dump names of Hawaiians that didn't want to be on that list. Majority of Hawaiians were not taking the oath that said, we affirm the unrelinquished sovereignty of the Hawaiian people. And that oath was required to be on the list. And a huge number of Hawaiians are incensed. They're angry. They're saying, wait a minute. Our pathway to advancement is education. Our pathway to advancement is jobs and housing. It's not creating a separate political nation.
Explain to me why you consider this almost a negative development, because from the perspective of other people that we've spoken with this morning, they say, look, this just gives Native Hawaiians a choice in how to shape their future with the federal government.
Well, Native Hawaiians, we have that choice. First of all, the Hawaiian people have tremendous assets, the Hawaiian homelands, as well as ceded lands money that is administered through OHA. The question is, why aren't we being able to advance through that? It's because those monies have been wasted through fraud, waste, and abuse. The answer is this: let's clean up the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. Let's clean up the state government and its administration of these funds. There's more than enough resources to meet the needs of Hawaiians. We don't need a political pathway.
Yeah, you talk about how there are hundreds of thousands of Native Hawaiians around the world. I mean, the majority don't even live necessarily on the Hawaiian Islands anymore. Don't you think a lot of those people would like to come back and have some land? There's clearly not enough land here for them.
Well, we have every opportunity to acquire land the way everyone else acquires land. And in addition to that, Native Hawaiians have Hawaiian homelands. But, for example, 27,000 Native Hawaiians are on the Hawaiian homelands waiting list.
Right.
It's not a lack of land. It's not a lack of money. What it is that our state government is administering this in a way that is not beneficial to Hawaiians. So the idea that the state government and the federal government are the future for the advancement of Hawaiians is something Hawaiians reject. That's pretty clear from the data.
How can you say it's not from a lack of land if you have that many people on a waiting list trying to get land? The
Hawaiian homelands is the third largest land estate. The Native Hawaiians also benefit from OHA money that comes from ceded lands, which is about 20% of the ceded lands revenues. It's not a lack of money. It's that the OHA trustees, the state government, are not using it properly. Instead of using that money for housing, jobs, education, and health care, they've wasted over $33 million in the pursuit of federal recognition and have gotten nothing for it. By the way, the Department of Interior's announcement today is a tiny piece in the process. What is not present today is the willingness of the Native Hawaiian people to submit themselves to federal recognition or the Office of Hawaiian Affairs and become a federally recognized government.
All right, so where do we go from here? We talked a lot about the past and what has happened today. Where do we go in the future, given that we have this pathway set up for us that you don't necessarily think we should
Well,
take?
that's a great question. Where we go is to start with what we have. Right now, Native Hawaiians have United States citizenship. We have access to everything that every citizen has.
But you don't lose that by setting up a sovereign nation.
But we need to use it. Secondly, Native Hawaiians have the Hawaiian homelands. Native Hawaiians have the Office of Hawaiian Affairs and the ceded lands money. What we need to do is get rid of the fraud, waste, and abuse. We need to reform the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. There's more than enough resources if they're put to the right use, if they're not wasted on political schemes.
So you're saying the current people in place in OHA are not the right people to do that?
Well, by their own admission, the current chairman of OHA released a statement just a couple of months ago saying that the trustees have known from the beginning of OHA that Hawaiian people did not want OHA to spend money on federal recognition. Instead, they wanted OHA to spend money, millions of dollars, on jobs, housing, education. And yet, knowing this, the current trustees have perpetrated a continued attempt to get federal recognition. This is clearly a violation of the will of the Hawaiian people.
All right, I know there's all kinds of opinions as far as this goes, and it has been for years. We want to thank Kali'i for coming in today to talk a little bit more and giving us a different perspective.
Well, thank you very much, Grace. Aloha to you.
Aloha to you. All right, Lacey.
Good morning, Grace. If you have to travel through...
That was off the Hawai'i Akina, who's also running for OHA, was on the morning show here. Don't agree with all of his points. It's basically his points, like the Hawaiian Kingdom was multiracial. It was just not Hawaiians. And there are many prominent non-Hawaiians under the kingdom who were very steadfast in standing up for the Hawaiian people and their nation, independent nation of Hawaii. So he is correct that to say we want to go back to only a Hawaiian nation, that's not what we had. We had a multiracial kingdom and country. And that's why we support the non-Hawaiians who support us. That's their aloha. And when you think about it, OHA was even created out of the aloha of the people, because nobody here can get, they always call it special relationship. Yeah, we got a special relationship because you took our country. Hello? You guys bought Gatling guns? Oh, yeah, they'll say, well, the Committee of Safety did it with Stanford B. Dole and Thurston, but they didn't succeed without the Marines of the United States of America. Okay? And you can see the pictures lined up in front of Iolani Palace with 2 Gatling guns ready to shoot the palace and the Queen. Without the United States Marines, the Committee of Safety would have been arrested and tried for treason. That's what Queen Liliuokalani's head police chief, who was Hawaiian, wanted to do. He wanted to arrest him right then. But she told him no, because it would give an excuse for the United States to land their troops. She didn't realize that time, no matter what she did, the Minister Stephen was going to land the troops. Regardless, he was going to come on. And what was the excuse? Oh, because the lives and properties of Americans were in danger. Another lie. But they have to lie, because if their actions are done because of lying, so they have to continue to lie. And I saw the faces, even Esther Kia'aina, who was on the Department of Interior. Girl, really? You're going to trade on your people for a Lexus and a big paycheck? I guess we know there are people like that, right? Turn on the people for money. And we know we have people like that can just sleep well, too. They don't care. Well, I couldn't do that, girl. I couldn't do that. I could see if this was Russia and Putin was doing this. I could see if it was China and what they did to the people in Tiananmen Square. But this is supposed to be United States. And they're lying right to their teeth and smiling in the camera when they do it. But you look at the Department of Interior meetings that were held 2 years ago. They are taking crap from the Hawaiian people. You look at their face, they're distraught because every island they went to, they were bombarded. that it shouldn't be the Department of Interior. We are not indigenous to the United States of America, and you need to bring the state here. What do? Yeah, we'll incorporate all your testimony. Then, no, we're not going to use all the testimony that you guys all came out to the meetings on all islands. We're only going to take email. And we know email is so secure. We know that can't be manipulated. And then they come out and say the overwhelming Hawaiians supported it. Lie. Right in your face. And we ain't talking 1860, we're talking 2016, and they're smiling in our face and lying right to us. And you got these coconuts dancing on us like, hey, what a great day. I wish you guys can do that, and I wish all our kings and queens can be looking at you and going, I know what they would say. You dumb Hawaiian. You're celebrating a foreign... After we, the Hawaiian people, fought to bring everyone together, after Kamu'ali'i sacrificed his life so there would be no war and bloodshed on Kauai, even Kamu'ali'i saw the outside world coming and knew he had to join with Kamehameha. And he sacrificed himself. He never came back to the island. All the sacrifice of the Hawaiian people are to bring us into one nation that survived almost 100 years. And to be taken over a country and have these people who call themselves Hawaiians celebrate that? Celebrate the foreign government? And I know some of our people are scared. They're, well, I got a job with the state. Well, we will still have jobs under the Kingdom of Hawaii. We'll still have schools. Most likely still have McDonald's. What do you think? Everyone's going to be kicked out and you get a malo and a chicken and that's it? Come on. Well, going to make everyone, you're going to have to drive canoe now from Honolulu if you like go to Lihue. Come on. We're still going to have trucks. Still got 4x4s. It's just that the true owners will be in charge. Not foreigners telling us what to do in our own land. That's human rights. That is pono. As an American, I am just so ashamed of what the Department of Interior has done. And for me personally, I'm looking at what we can do about it. I know there's other sovereignty groups out there. I've been looking for the last couple of days on what kind of organizations of opposition to this will happen. Because as you said, as we know, the Aiapuni has continued on. They ratified a constitution. So technically, I know Kaylee said it's not a big deal, but technically they can throw that little constitution up and say, hey, this is what we did. And we know just like everything else that's happened in the DOI procedure, they're going to rubber stamp and go, okay, got it. You guys are now done. You're included. When that constitution didn't represent the Hawaiian people. They weren't even voted by the people who came up with the constitution. Were not even voted by the Hawaiian people. And then the question of, wow, you guys came up with that pretty fast. My heart stands with all the Hawaiians who will not tolerate this. We're not going to tolerate their lies anymore. The one thing that caught me was so far, no statement from Mazie Hirono regarding the state with this. But on Friday, September 23rd, this is what Schott said. Schott statement on Department of Interior announcement on Native Hawaiian rule. From the paper. Today, the Department of Interior, and this is as of September 23rd, released the final rule on administrative procedure and criteria for establishing a government-to-government relationship with the Native Hawaiian community. U.S. Senator Brian Schatz, who won overwhelmingly his bid to run again, and it looks most likely he'll be a shoo-in. And that raises concern about, because the majority of the people, all people in Hawaii can vote for OHA. We've seen a shift in who gets in. And usually the people who get in are not those diehards who've been fighting Hawaiian rights for a long time. It's usually the cronies who will follow the course of what the United States and the representatives want them to do. This is a quote from Senator Schatz. This is a historic step towards doing what is right and just for Native Hawaiians. For far too long, Native Hawaiians have been the only federal recognized Native people without a government-to-government relationship with the United States. Generations of Hawaiians and allies have worked to restore this relationship, and this rule is one of the most significant developments in its making this a possibility. Although the rule establishes a formal procedure for Native Hawaiian government to establish its governmental relationship with the United States, it leaves the Hawaiian community with the authority and responsibility to reorganize its governing entity. To reorganize its governing entity. Can't have your country back that we took, but you can reorganize its governing entity. Okay. Again, quote from Mr. Schatz. President Obama's leadership and personal commitment to Hawaii was evident in the level of community engagement conducted by his administration, essential to ensuring this path forward for Native Hawaiians. Yeah, but the outcome is totally against what was heard at the meetings, who were against any form of action done by the Department of Interior. So, and I'm trying to look for that one. It was actually at the what is it, press corps office on the White House. I'm trying to find that where the guy actually, the president's spokesman. And it's hard to pull this thing up on the. Tell you what, we're going to take an interlude right now, and I'm going to try to find that piece for you because it's so interesting. Because again, he calls the spokesman for President Obama in Washington, D.C., calls the Hawaiians tribe, which means he doesn't know crap about the Hawaiian people. God, everyone knows about Hawaii, but they don't know our story. Don't even know us. They think we're Orientals. Phew, Lilo and Stitch.
Kala Meke anu o ke ko'ola.
Again, talking about the Department of Interior's announcement to proceed with allowing a rule change that will allow a pathway for Hawaiians for federal recognition. And I pulled up this one because 20 gather in Kapa'a to protest rule to create government-to-government relationship with Native Hawaiians. We want our country back. And this was a week ago. Kapa'a. Ka'iulani Mahuka. What's up, girl? Said the Hawaiian people won't settle for anything less than full sovereignty. Hear, hear. Quote, we are the sovereign Hawaiian nation. Federal recognition will never be anything to the Hawaiian people, Mahuka said. We want our country back. Overwhelmingly, the Hawaiian people have said no. We don't want to be federally recognized. Why should we? The host of the local radio program, Songs of Sovereignty, was among about 20 people at Kopa'a Beach Park protesting the United States Department of Interior's announcement Friday that finalized a rule for creating a government-to-government relationship with Native Hawaiians and the United States. The rule would leave the Hawaiian community with authority to reorganize its governing entity. Supporters of the Department of Interior's rule included elected leaders. Of course, like Shots, like we already said, this is him again. This is a stark step towards doing what is right and just for Native Hawaiians. Yeah, okay. Keep telling yourself that. But Mahuka said the DOI rule is in fact invalid since the U.S. did not officially annex Hawaii. Quote, it's completely illegal. It's a war crime. The biggest problem that we have is there's no treaty of annexation, said Mahuka, one of the organizers of the protests. That's what they should have had to properly annex Hawaii to the United States, but no such treaty exists. Instead of a treaty of annexation, the U.S. annexed to Hawaii by joint resolution known as the Newlands Resolution on July 7th, 1889. Basically, it'd be like the Parliament of England saying, we now own Japan. That's basically what the United States did. Didn't even take a vote here. Didn't even ask the Hawaiian people. Just made a joint resolution in Congress said, we now own Hawaii. Wow, that's just, right, Mr. Schatz? Boy, that's human rights too. Right, Tulsi? Whoa. Or did you miss that class when you were supposed to go to history, Hawaiian history? We're not part of America. The Kingdom of Hawaii has been recognized by the League of Nations as its own country, said Puanani Rogers, Yehe, 1990, founder of the Ho'okipa Network and co-organizer of the protests. The United States has no jurisdiction over us because the resolution only went to the voters of their own lands. Joseph Kekauliki Kamai, who was among the protesters, said he has been protesting since 1975. We're internationally reorganized or recognized, and now the United States is trying to recognize federally, trying to turn us into a tribe. We're not a tribe, we're a country, he said. Hear, hear. They keep on referring to us as a tribe. And these are the guys in charge. Former U.S. Senator Daniel Kako spent about a dozen years trying to get a bill passed that would give Native Hawaiians the same rights already extended to many Native Americans and Alaska Natives. We're not Native Americans. These people. Efforts to get the bill to a vote have consistently been blocked, and Kako retired 3 years ago. Mostly blocked the Republicans. That's one thing we can thank them for. Not for the same reasons, but they helped us out in blocking the Kako bill. Native Hawaiians have not had a formal unified government since the overthrow of the Hawaiian Kingdom in 1893. Critics say it won't right the wrongs of the overthrow because you won't get your country back according to the United States, and that it's meant to turn Native Hawaiians into Indian tribes. Yep. Some Native Hawaiians say can't be assured that all indigenous people share the same history, experience, and needs because we're not indigenous to the United States, people. Many Native Hawaiians have long been clamoring for self-determination, but there are varying opinions of what that would look like, including federal recognition, restoring the overthrown Hawaiian Kingdom, or dual citizenship. Hey, sounds like the Americans too. They want to build a wall. They don't want to build a wall. They want to restrict people. They don't want to restrict people. Hey, it seems like Hawaiians are just like them in that respect. Here we go. Representative Tulsi Gabbard said the Native Hawaiian community has fought for the same rights and treatment as indigenous groups across the United States, like Native American tribes and Alaskan Natives. Tulsi, please read a book on Hawaiian history. I mean, do that first before you make stupid statements, okay? Hawaiians are not indigenous to the United States. If that's true, then Chinese are indigenous to the United States. The Japanese and Japan are indigenous to the United States. Okay? I mean, these people, we're not indigenous to the United States. We had our own country. We have our own language. We have our own people. And Kamehameha did not know jack about George Washington or Thomas Jefferson, okay? They were foreigners. Why? Because Kamehameha was in his own country called Hawaii. It wasn't the United States. Okay? Kamehameha, even Kalakaua. Okay? He had his own country. Queen Liliuokalani. Liliuokalani. That's not an American name. It's not indigenous to America. So just call it like it's supposed to be. Just say the truth. Okay? Just say the truth. And stop all this BS. Hawaiians indigenous to the United States. Wrong. You get no points for that one. That is a lie. Native Hawaiians are the largest, here we go again, largest indigenous group in the U.S. that has not been offered the chance for a relationship. You know, they always make it like they're doing us a favor. We're going to give you a chance to be fair recognized. No, take that offer and shove it where the sun don't. We just want our country back. Okay? And we don't have to shoot you for it. We don't have to put bombs around our bellies to do it. I mean, these guys just talk with forked tongue. They really do. I mean, even this controversy with Kaepernick and everyone, all riled up because he's protesting peacefully. And then they had all these armed service people like really getting on his case. He has death threats. Isn't that what you fought for? Was the freedom of speech, even in protest? Isn't that what you fought for? So you guys shouldn't be like threatening to kill him. He's exercising his right of freedom of speech that you went to war for, that my uncle went to war for. Freedom of thought. And yet he's catching all this crap. You may not like how he's doing it. You may disagree with it. But that's what you fought for. Freedom. And he ain't killing anybody. He ain't shooting you because he disagrees with you. Yet he's gotten death threats for kneeling down. Whoa. Yet that's supposed to be what America's about, right? Freedom of speech. But because he's protesting with a knee on the ground, people want to shoot him. Crazy. We call that crazy. The final federal rule mirrors a proposal announced a year ago and sets an administrative procedure that the Interior would follow if an established Native Hawaiian government wants those ties. It requires there be a governing document that undergoes a ratification vote by Native Hawaiians. An attempt last year to hold an election to select delegates for Constitutional Convention fell apart after a lawsuit challenged the legality of holding a race-based election. It's not clear how the ratification requirement would be met. That's for Native Hawaiians to figure out, the article says. Again, basically people not knowing their history of Hawaiian people and who we are. And you're listening to KKCR Hanalei, KQA Kilauea. Nalea Hawaiian Issues, the voice of Hawaiian issues, the voice of truth. I'm just telling you like it is. And it looks like choppy surf and potential for powerful currents at all east exposed locations, including some north and south shore spots. We're looking at 2 to 4 Ha'ena, Hanalei 1 to 3, Kealia 3 to 6, 2 to 5 Lidgate, 1 to 4 to 1 to 3, all the way from Poipu to Keikaha. So be safe out there. You got to know what you're doing. Take a short musical break right here in Naleo, Hawaiian Issues. And man, have we got some issues. But that's all right. Only pa'a Hawaiians. Only pa'a.
drowning soul. It's a dangerous tide, and the waves sweep you both away. Oh, the stars of the screen weave a light. All the songs spin a sweet lullaby. Young lovers hit the street, starry-eyed. The starry eyes always cry. Stop looking for love if you seek it alive. I know you want someone there by your side. Somebody real will get who you are. Somebody more than a shooting star. You seem surprised to find it's all a masquerade, for the grandest prize is the one where the most was paid. Oh, the stars of the screen weave a lie. All the songs spin a sweet lullaby. Young lovers hit the street, starry-eyed.
Usually I don't pawn down songs, but I found some more stuff about the rejection of DOI rules from the White House to Moku o Kauai, to Moku o Keawe, which is the island of Big Island. This is as of September 23rd. And again, a shout out to our brothers and sisters in Standing Rock in North Dakota, and seeing all the different Indian tribes coming together to support each other. Awesome. So again, more reaction by Hawaiians in rejecting the DOI rules.
Aloha mai kako. O Dr. Jeanette soon Ludus.
And let me just say, this is about 30 minutes, but we only have like 20 minutes left, but I'm going to let this run. Okay? It's one of the most important issues facing Hawaiians, because this is the nail in the box, in the coffin. They're trying to nail us in.
Aloha mai kako. O Dr. Jeanette soon Ludus ko uinoa. I'm descendant of the Nimpala Ohana of Ko'olauloa, Ko'olaupoko, and Kona Oahu. I call on the strength of my iwi kupuna because I come here today to deliver this message to you, Mr. President. I'm here today to speak to you about impenetrable grief and lasting strength. It is told in our mo'olelo that when the United States annexed Hawaii over the unambiguous protests of our people, there arose a wailing that lasted for weeks. At the hands of the United States, my people suffered an unimaginable loss that produced an absolutely impenetrable grief. Since that day, you have done everything in your power to sever the ties to Aina, that is our living, breathing, loving ohana. You tried to steal our language so we would forget our kuleana. You tried to disintegrate our families so we would forget our strength. And today, you are trying to silence our claims to our birthright. You call it a rule to reestablish relations. We call it for what it is. A ploy to usurp our Aina that is also our kupuna. And we see you, Mr. President. We see that you do not honor your promises to Native people. Even as I speak, we stand in solidarity with those whose lands suffer under your watch. The youth of Oak Flat, the Winnemem Wintu, and the runners of Standing Rock. Even as we stand with them, insisting that you honor your treaties, we remember our Aina and our kuleana. And we remember the legendary words of Haunani K. Trask. We are not Americans. We are Hawaiians. And so I come here also with fire in my voice. In every way imaginable, you have tried to separate us from our Aina. But you forgot something. You forgot that our people are voyagers too. We need only look to the stars and the oceans to find our way back to our homeland. Whether the distance is literal or metaphoric, We will find our way home, and we will always, always ku'e against this injustice. And so with fire in my voice and aloha aina in my heart, I call on you, Mr. President, to abandon the Department of Interior formal government-to-government relationship with Native Hawaiian communities. This rule is not justice for Hawaiians. It is part of a process that will shortcut and silence a ground-up movement to unite our people and arrive at a collective decision about our future. We do not consent to the settlement of any land claims. We do not consent to benefits for some. We demand justice for all. E como mai, Mr. President. Come join us to imagine a better Hawai'i. We will protect our birthright until the last aloha aina. Ahui ho.
Greetings, everyone. Velina mai kako, Velina. Aloha from Kauai. And to all that may hear our voices, I hope that you understand why it is that we are standing here today. We are people that love our aina. We are napoe aloha ka aina. And this federal recognition stuff has been going on for 16 years. And that's why I'm saying I am tired of this. We don't need their federal recognition. What we want is for them to recognize that we are a sovereign and independent nation already. That's the recognition we want from you, United States, President Obama, Department of Interior. Recognize us, because the truth is that we are a sovereign and independent nation already. And any more times that you're going to try to shove this federal recognition issue down our throats, you are not going to win, because we are never going to stop resisting. Ku'e, ku'e, ku'e is what I say to all of your rules and regulations. We never ever gave you consent to that. We protested it full on. Thousands and thousands of our people, and they squashed it. They squashed our voices and lied and said that we were not well represented, that the majority was pro-federal recognition. So the truth is, President Obama and the Department of Interior, you do not have our consent to do this, because you are speaking to another government here. You're speaking to the Kingdom of Hawaii. This is our government. We are sovereign and independent nation. Come back and come talk to us. Sit at the table with us and let's talk some more about this as government to government. So, okay, for all our people that are hearing my voice, I love you all. Stand with us, please, in this effort to continue to steal our lands, to steal our sovereignty, and to steal the future of our children, is what this is going to be. It'll never happen, because we're never going to give up. Keep trying, and you will continue to get a ku'e, ku'e, ku'e. Aloha mai. Aloha Keakua. I pray that Keakua also is looking upon us, his people, his children, and seeing the plight that we're in, and will give us assistance. I also invoke the presence of my ancestors too, all of our ancestors, to stand here with us and give us the guidance and the knowledge to how to overcome this travesty of federal recognition. And they will hear us and they will call, and you know why? It's because of our kupuna that we are standing here today. We're standing for them and for our future generations. So mahalo for this opportunity. I love you all. I love our aina. I love our nation. And I love our people, because we are the people of aloha. Aloha is love. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Auntie Nani.
Kalima.
Yay. Okay, next we're going to hear from Brother Tim Reese. Tim, why do you oppose federal recognition for our people?
Aloha, my name is Timothy Reese. I claim the rights and accept the obligations as a Hawaiian subject, which is my right as a descendant of a Hawaiian Kingdom subject under international law. I adamantly oppose the actions of the federal government of the United States in regards to federal recognition, as it is a continuation of a fraud and just another act by their government not consistent with the U.S. Constitution or international law. We find ourselves in a convergence of a fraud or a history that misrepresented the actual historical and legal facts, and we are now, as a Lahui, being exposed to the truth, and our people are awakening, and the recent developments appear to me to be a weak attempt at trying to beat our Lahui to the punch and waking up and force them into some sort of contractual agreement to relinquish our sovereignty, which is intact. We are an independent nation state and have continued to be since the unlawful overthrow of 1893. I have faith in our Lahui. We need time to educate our Lahui and remember who we are. And we are who our ancestors were. And we just need time. And I do not condone the latest attempts by the U.S. federal government to trap us into believing that we are an Indian tribe. Mahalo.
Mahalo nui, Tim. Thank you for your mana'o today. Hi, I'm so sorry I don't say your name.
Jeffrey Hawai'i. Aloha kako, aloha nui kako. O Jeffrey Hawai'i ko inoa mai komoku o Keawe mai aloha no o Kauai, mano o Kalanipo. O kia aina hui ana na poe pono ina mea ho'opa'a. We will never give up. It is our birthright, and all of what Auntie and what Brother has just said, true. Hoki'i, pono'i, hololei, kila mana'o, kila wala'a, kila ha'iana i ka mea uwai. So all of the people out there and my people, all the people that believe in aloha, it is the key. It is the key to our freedom. And the government will never stop us because we know the truth. And we will pull it together for the rest of our families.
Eyo.
Thank you.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Aloha, my name's Kai'ulani, and I'm speaking out today as a Hawaiian woman and a Hawaiian national against the heva of President Obama's fake federal recognition process, which he announced earlier today. 2 years ago, the U.S. State Department was asked to show proof that a legal annexation of the Hawaiian Kingdom actually took place. The request came from Office of Hawaiian Affairs CEO Kamana'opono Crab, May 5th, 2014. Rather than answer the question and show us proof over ownership of our country, President Obama instructed his Department of Interior to discuss federal recognition. Within 2 months of the request for proof of jurisdiction, proof that we all know does not exist, the DOI held hearings for 2 weeks. Thousands of people tried to testify, but the DOI only had time for hundreds. 95% of the Hawaiians who spoke were opposed to federal recognition and any Department of Interior or federal interference in our right to self-determination. Again, instead of listening to the Hawaiian people, President Obama instructed his Department of the Interior to completely go wrong the congressional process for federal recognition and create a new set of rules to be used on the Hawaiian people. Today, he announced these new fake rules so that he could begin the process of lying, pretending to the American public and the Hawaiian people that what he is trying to do to us is legitimate. But we know it's a lie. Now, instead of actually helping us with the problems we face as a result of the ongoing U.S. occupation of Hawaii, President Obama has announced his process for choosing which fake government entity he will personally recognize and federalize so that he can attempt to legitimize the theft of 2 million acres of our crown and government land. There's nothing in his fake federal recognition process that addresses real problems that Hawaiians have to deal with, such as homelessness, because we cannot afford to even pay rent in our homeland, which is an economic reality brought on by the military and millionaire takeover of our housing market. Problems such as the highest rates of incarceration and suicide and diabetes and cancer. Problems such as the largest number of open field GMO test sites in the world. Problems such as the theft of our water from sacred mountains like Wai'ale'ale, water to be bottled rather than used in farming. Problems such as 95% food dependency on container vessels from 2,500 miles away. Problems such as ongoing mass desecrations for vacation homes, as we have seen on Kauai and every other island, and desecration of our sacred Haleakala and Mauna Kea, which has been militarized for their projects like the 30-meter telescope. After spending tens of millions of dollars on the fake Kana'i'oluwalu list and the fake Na'iaupuni Constitution to create a fake tribe, the best President Obama could come up with was to further cover up the illegal U.S. overthrow of the Hawaiian Kingdom, the fake annexation, fake statehood with a fake set of new fake rules in his Department of Interior so he can create a fake land transfer of our national lands and our heritage. Today, President Obama insulted all Hawaiians, from the Ali'i who established our independence to the Hawaiians living today and all future generations. Today, President Obama continued the American tradition of empirism and theft. We, the Hawaiian people, reject President Obama's actions. We reject his Department of Interior's so-called fake rules. We reject his hand-chosen sellout Hawaiians. We reject his lies and his deceit. We will not go along with the theft of our nationhood, our heritage, our kuleana, and our lands. We will ku'e to the very last aloha aina. Mahalo. Mahalo nui to everyone who joined us today. We are still kind of in shock, but not really.
We're going to continue to fight it. Ditto for Auntie Nani Wajas. Lani. Oni pa'a Hawaiians. Oni pa'a. Never give up. Never surrender.
was what the Akua bring. Like the sunshine and the rain and the wind was so much stronger. The life of